Hi, I'm Steve Koski, host of Papa Steve's Rebel 1100 Garage, where we show do-it-yourselfers how to maintain your motorcycle. Let's get greasy. Before I retired, the husband of one of my colleagues at work bought her a Porsche Boxster with an automatic transmission. My wife rolled her eyes because she drove a Porsche 924 with a 5-speed manual transmission. Porsches, like motorcycles, should have manual transmissions after all. At least, that's what some purists think. I believe we don't need so many rules. DCT is the acronym for dual clutch transmission. A DCT uses 2 separate clutches for odd and even gear sets. The design resembles 2 separate manual transmissions, with their respective clutches working as one unit. In cars and trucks, as well as in the Rebel 1100, the DCT functions as an automatic transmission, requiring no driver or rider input to change gears. Unlike a conventional automatic transmission, a DCT doesn't need a torque converter to transfer power from the engine to the transmission. One important advantage of this engineering marvel is the speed of changing gears. Because the DCT can pre-select an odd gear while the vehicle is being propelled in an even gear, and vice versa, DCTs can shift several times faster than is possible with a manual transmission. By timing the operation of one clutch to engage at the precise moment that the other is disengaging, a DCT can shift gears without interrupting the power to the wheels. This gear change speed characteristic is what makes double clutch transmissions the transmission of choice for so many supercars. Another important advantage is that the driver or rider doesn't need to know how to use a manual clutch. Miraculously, the joys of riding a motorcycle became available to many more potential buyers. Honda pioneered mounting a dual clutch transmission when it introduced the DCT on the VFR 1200F in 2009. However, the DCT had already been around for 70 years. The dual-clutch transmission concept was invented by French engineer Adolphe Cagresse in 1939. Earlier in his career, Cagresse invented the military half-track. Cagresse's dual-clutch transmission was intended for use in the Citroën Traction Avant. However, he ran out of money before he could develop a working model. One of the first production DCTs was the Easy Drive unit developed in the late 1950s, then introduced in the 1961 Hillman Minx Series 3C. However, the DCT used 2 electromagnetic clutches and analog electronics, which proved unreliable. Consequently, many DCTs in these Hillmans were replaced by conventional manual transmissions. 10 years later, Porsche began to develop DCTs for racing cars because a DCT prevented loss of turbocharge boost during gear shifts. As the electronics required to control the transmission became compact enough to be practical, in 1983 Porsche installed the PDK, the German acronym for the dual clutch transmission, as a prototype in a 956 Le Mans racing car. Then the PDK joined the competition in the 1985 Porsche 962C Le Mans racing model. The entry won the World Sports Car Championship in 1986. A version of the PDK transmission was also used that same year in an Audi Sport Quattro S1 Group B rally car. The first mass-production passenger car to use a DCT was the Volkswagen Golf R32. Volkswagen produced the Golf R32 in Europe as a 2003 model year. At first, the R32 was available only for the German market, but it was so popular, Volkswagen started selling the car in the United States and Australia for the 2004 model year. Soon after, a variety of automakers adopted the DCT. German transmission manufacturer Getrag began producing DCTs in 2008. Getrag supplied transmissions for BMW, Dacia, Dodge, Ferrari, Ford, Mercedes-Benz, Mitsubishi, Renault, Smart, and Volvo. Getrag designed a 7-speed DCT for high-performance engines that is used in mid-engine sports cars, such as the 2009 Ferrari 458, 2014 Mercedes-AMG GT, and the 2017 Ford GT. The venerable British automotive supplier Ricardo designed and built the 7-speed DCT used by the 2005 to 2015 Bugatti Veyron, which has a turbocharged 16-cylinder engine producing 922 foot-pounds of torque. Tremec, the Mexico-based supplier of performance car transmissions, provided the 8-speed DCT used in the 2020 mid-engine Chevrolet Corvette C8 and the 7-speed DCT used in the 2020 Ford Mustang Shelby GT50.
I hope you found this video helpful. I'd be delighted if you would subscribe to Papa Steve's Rebel 1100 Garage. If you don't, I'll be just another codger talking to himself on the internet.